All right. Welcome to another episode of the Bring the Juice podcast. Today we have professional golfer Danny Woodhead. He also was in the NFL for a period of time and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for saying I was a professional golfer too.
First we gonna rock, then we gonna fold, then we let it pop, don't let it go.
Our good friend Kenny Wiggins said he's just a scratch golfer. Maybe he's
call it
professional putter at, little freaking boomers or blackbeards, whatever they have out here. But I'm going to say professional. Danny, let's just start off hot. The mindset of, I read an article that you got a lot of articles on you, by the way.
Do I?
I had to do a lot of research. You're pretty famous. I don't know.
I wouldn't consider myself famous.
You're vocal.
I would consider myself, I'm an average human being, and people are like, that's kind of cute. He played in the NFL. So let's talk to him. Is that what it is?
I don't know. But I liked one of your quotes in the 10 chapters of things I read about Danny Woodhead saying, when one door closes, another one opens. And I've always been a believer in you got to create your own opportunity. Tell me about just that statement. What's the, dissect that for me a little bit.
Yeah, so, bro, I grew up in the church. Still go to church.
Yeah,
but my mom always said when I was in high school, and it's something I live by, she said, God's he'll open the doors that you're supposed to go through and just walk through them. And I'll tell you what, a lot of doors got closed.
I get it.
A lot of doors got closed. I was fortunate. I was fortunate in high school. I had great teammates, great coaches, great teams.
Yeah.
And man, I was able to, with their help, I was able to set records. I was all Nebraska 3 years in a row.
Humble brag.
Well, it was one of those things. It was like, you think if you get certain things, like certain accolades, Nebraska Player of the Year, different things like that, you're like,
something's gonna happen.
I'm going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
I'm going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
And, I get a call from the head coach after camp, and it was like, hey, yeah, you're too short. We're looking for someone that's 6'3", 235. I guess they thought Derrick Henry was coming back then.
Derrick Henry is a physical specimen.
He's the only Derrick Henry there's been.
Yeah.
So let's get off of that.
Right.
That's not going to happen. But they said, yeah, we're not interested, basically. And it was like, so when I'm talking about the doors being shut,
right.
It was just slammed shut. And then my brother was at Chadron State, best friend of mine. I knew if I didn't go Division I, or even a bad Division I school, I wasn't going to. I was going to go to Chadron State regardless. I wasn't going to D1 AA.
Was it Nebraska?
So it was
one or two.
No, if it was Nebraska, Iowa had interest when I was a sophomore, and then I guess they watched the film and saw not my highlights, but just probably what I looked like.
Yeah.
And
no, we'll get into that.
Yeah, and so I think that didn't help. All the Midwest schools had interest when I was a sophomore.
Right.
And then I guess they saw the film and didn't love it. I had some pretty good games, but either which way, the door was shut, and I was like, all right, I'm going to walk through this door. And there was even a time after, not a lot of people know this, after my freshman year of college, I was fortunate enough to be on a great team again, ended up being All-American as a freshman, and there was a thought of transferring. I definitely had a thought of it, but that was back then too, when you have to sit out. I didn't want to sit out.
Portal's way different.
Yeah. The portal in 2005, completely different.
Dinosaurs.
And I didn't want to sit out. And then also because the head coach was stepping down to AD because that's just at that small school. He was doing both. He couldn't do both.
Yeah.
And the offensive coordinator, which it's not like I didn't get along with him, but I was just like, you go to a school a lot of times because of a head coach or whatever.
Relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe I'll do that. And then I just was like, nah, they didn't want me. Fair enough. And I get to play an extra year with my brother. I played 2 years with my older brother, who was my best friend.
How sick was that?
That was unreal. He was a wide receiver. I was running back. Those are. I wish I would have had the opportunity, at the time to play for Nebraska.
Right.
But it didn't work out, and that's okay. But I gotta play with my best friend and my brother, someone that those 2 years I'll cherish. Like, we lived together.
Absolutely.
It was unreal. And then my parents both went to Shattered State. So like
There's a little legacy going on.
There was, but it was also like, I got my school paid for. I didn't want to have to be in debt, and it worked out great. But it's just like, man, it's so weird. Sometimes like we try to, like, I wasn't gonna force the issue. I wasn't gonna try to convince Nebraska that I was good enough.
No.
Like, obviously I was.
They made up their mind.
Yeah, and I wasn't good enough, and that's okay. But yeah, so that's that's a long answer to an awful short question. But it's like, man, I just wanted to go through the doors and not try to break in through the doors, because I believe everyone has their life planned.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to take advantage of the opportunity and just do it.
No, I love that. And, it really relates to me. And I wrote down in my notes just one thing that I kind of based my life on, because I understand where you're coming from, literally. And I was taught, whatever religion you are, you should have a relationship with God. Prayer should be in your life. I think if you come every day with a positive attitude, a good attitude, that's taken me a long ways, good things will happen. Mm-hmm. And if you throw working your absolute tail off in between, you're pretty much unbreakable. You got a relationship, you got your faith. And if you don't have it, how many athletes do you know that have no faith? Very few.
I would say, gosh, I don't even know really.
And I'm not a religious podcast. I'm guzzling Coors Light right now.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with Coors Light.
Well, it's Gold Tops, bro. Not really Gold
Colorado
Tops.
smoothies.
No. Not Gold Tops. That'd be Miller Lite.
Silver
but the blue, Silver Bolt.
The mountains are blue.
C-. Coors Light.
It's the nectar of the gods.
But
I'm saying you throw God in there with a relationship, and you got to come every day with a good attitude, because guess what? If you don't, you're just hurting yourself. And I also like to preach, control the freaking controllables,
bro.
Danny, bro, we're both athletes. You played in the league. I didn't. We're the same height. We're the same skin tone,
and the same athletic ability.
But trust me, I'm not. You're a better football player, and you're a better golfer too.
No, let's say it though.
We're white
Either
boys.
way, yes, we are.
It's different.
And that's okay.
It's a rare thing. White boys make noise. I said it in the first text I told you.
Yeah.
My brothers, we idolize dudes who, it's a hard thing in the game of football, man.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I have played with people of all different shapes, colors, races, cultures, you name it. And they could sit at my table. We could joint hands.
A lot of my best friends aren't white. Let's just be honest.
I'll get married in a couple months. Got all kinds of people coming to that wedding.
Right.
And it doesn't matter to me. I actually appreciate my experience of high-level athletics, because you really get that first look, that first lens of, you really judge people off their character and the type of dude they are, versus if you were raised in some sort of environment, you might not get that opportunity.
Right. And I think the thing that you said, control the controllables, man, it wasn't my decision to draft running backs, it felt like every year.
Right.
That was not my decision. No. I could have pouted about it. I could have been mad, whatever it is. But why not just do my best at whatever opportunity I can get? It ended up helping me so much when I got released by the Jets, go to New England. Bro, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought Bill was having me in to give dirt on the Jets. That's really what I thought was happening. But I was like, oh, it's a weekly check, so I'll take the check.
Not bad.
But I went in there, and in the 3-4 days of game plan in the first week I'm there, because Kevin Falk gets hurt, who's the third down back. Bill even told me, he goes, we didn't really expect to use you, but we'll see what happens at practice. It's like, thank you, Bill. Thanks for saying
throw me a freaking bone here.
Yeah, he's like, we'll just see. This was actually the conversation. Yeah, so we I saw your film. You can catch the ball. You can run it. We'll see what happens at practice. We'll see how it goes this week. And it's like. I'm juiced, man.
Hey, thanks,
I can't
Bill
wait.
Belichick. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird. And then it was also, this was the greatest part about it, is we're talking, and I'm like, do I leave? Like, what do I do?
Are we done here?
Yeah, like you don't have shoes on. I don't think he had socks on. What do I do?
You got 6 toes.
Yeah, like it was a lot of weird stuff. But man, so like I did everything I could to control what I could control.
Right.
And what I could control was literally make sure you know the offense.
Yep.
As much as you can. Try to know more than your position. And man, if you do that a lot of times, I don't care where you're at. I don't care where you're at the depth on the depth chart. Coaches, even if they don't like how you are,
You got a little value next to you.
yes, if you have value knowing what the playbook is.
Absolutely.
Like that's incredible.
I could not agree more.
So like I tried to like, you know what? Even though I feel like I can run pretty fast, if they don't see me as fast, I'm going to make sure I know what to do on this play. If they don't think I'm tall enough, well, I'm still going to make sure I know what to do on this play. If they don't think I'm big enough, I'm going to make sure I know what to do on this play. And then also, when I do get in, I'm going to control my run reads. I'm going to control my pass blocking.
Execute.
I'm going to control the way I run routes. I'm going to be at the landmarks that you're asked to be at. Because if you do all those things, you're pretty tough to cut.
I have kind of made it a goal in my life. Athletically, I'm talking football. You need, and I've kind of given kids advice as they're saying like, hey, I'm trying to get recruited, maybe on this, maybe on that, maybe our highlights aren't this, or maybe your stats aren't this, or maybe you're just physically not the ideal mold. And if you could be the type of person, mindset-wise, knowing your playbook-wise, because in football that matters more.
Oh, heck yeah.
lot. And that's half the battle.
Yes.
And I also want to throw like accountability in there. Accountability/effort, maybe.
Yeah.
You're not late for meetings. You have your notebook out. You have a pen. You're ready to go. You're standing up straight. Your phone's not going to go off.
Yeah.
And then effort. You're not going to be the guy who on film they go through and say, "Why are you loafing right here?"
Yeah.
You would be so shocked how many people you overpass off just doing those, not off doing the Randy Moss one-handed catches or doing 6 spin moves to get in the end zone. Just the little basic things every single day that is so simple, but at the same time is so difficult in the game of football.
Bro, it's crazy. And if you were totally against it, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna bring up the whole Colorado right now with what Prime's doing.
Talk about it. Let's air it out.
What Prime's doing? Well, his tight ends coach is it Brewer or Brewster? Tim Brewster. He's the tight ends coach.
The guy with the video.
Yes, the video. So everyone
bitched about it.
Everyone's so mad about it. It's like in everything you
ever been
do,
in a locker room before?
Yeah, do the right thing. Like if I'm building a team, college, pro, high school, no matter what it is, I want everyone in that group, including the coaches, including the operations staff, including the custodians, including the secretaries, to do the right thing. And if you do the right thing every time, maybe you don't have the talent all the time at the beginning, but if you do the right thing, you're setting this culture where everyone's going in the same way. If you have some guys being late, if you have some guys with a phone, if you have some guys not studying their playbooks,
culture's gone.
Yeah,
there's no discipline. There's no standard.
There's
anymore.
this boat. Well, the boat is starting to get water in it.
Yeah.
People don't understand it. Twitter family, you don't understand it. Instagram family, you don't understand it. But because so many people are like, oh, that's corny. It's corny? I'll tell you what, I loved it because do you know how many times I had to run extra because someone barely by a centimeter had their foot on the line?
I could get into that really.
And the thing is,
and people will say this. Well, it was only a centimeter. How about you just don't have your foot over the line?
Yeah, it's only a centimeter to not get the first down on 4th and inches. And like that's a huge issue. That's a huge issue with today's football anyways. Prime's doing it right. I don't
think
care.
so too.
So is he doing the glitz and glam videos?
Yeah, but that's also Prime. That's what you expect.
That's exactly. But if you don't like that, fine, you don't like that. But don't knock what he's doing on accountability. You said accountability.
Yeah.
Man, I I don't know how many times I've been on a team in the NFL, and I'm not going to say where just because I don't need to, but the talent was so good, but the accountability was so little. And the accountability starts from the top. I mean, it's not even the coaches all the time in the league. It starts from everywhere else, and it's like, man, let's just do the right thing today. Let's not worry about. I was fortunate that I was able to check some boxes with like some speed and some things like that, but like not everyone does.
No.
And the thing is, I know a lot of people that got passed out because it's like, well, this guy's 6'4", because this is obviously not running back, 6'4", and he runs 4.4, high 4.3s. It's like, yeah, does he know how to play football? And it's like, because I'm watching on the field, he doesn't know how to play football.
Runs the wrong route, wrong depth, doesn't come back to the ball, isn't catching the ball, isn't blocking, isn't doing this and that. I get it.
There was someone who was so gifted, and I won't name names, obviously, and I'm not naming the level of competition because it could give it away, but he was incredibly gifted.
Yeah.
He didn't play because the quarterback couldn't trust him. And if you run an in cut, say it's a 16, you're running it back down to 14 because you have to come friendly because otherwise the corner can undercut you. Like, if you run it at 16 to 18 instead of 16 to 14,
it's a pick six.
It's a pick six. And like, that's the problem. People don't see it. Fantasy football fans don't see it. When they're wondering why their player's not playing, well, maybe they actually, one of the 5 maybe organizations that really care about accountability. There's not many that do, but the ones that do, they're great because they keep their people accountable.
Danny, what's the most accountable organization you've been a part of?
I mean, it's New England, and it's not even close.
Wow. Right. What are some bullet points as to why?
I think the thing is that they mean what they say.
Does it start from Bill, or was that when Tom was there as well?
It starts from Bill. I mean, Tom keeps it.
Tom held the standard and kept it.
I mean, like, yeah, Tom was going to keep.
I read it in one of your 10 chapters.
Okay.
Of shit, like, but he was on your ass. I know that.
So Bill, he says, so he's like the everything there. He's the front office. Like, you know how everyone has a GM, has a player person.
Nah, you go talk. It's Bill.
Bill's the front office, and then there's other guys with titles.
Sure.
And they do incredible things. Yeah, they do incredible things for the organization.
Right.
But Bill runs everything.
Yeah.
And so, were there times that I disagreed with the way maybe certain things, were ran? Mm-hmm. Or would I do it the same exact way? No. But I'll tell you what, he meant what he said.
Right.
And if you're gonna be late during the week, you're gonna pay the conduct detrimental fine, which is, I don't know, it was like $20,000 then. And he's sending you home. So not only are you getting fined, but you're also a day out of the game plan, and you're probably not really gonna play.
Right.
So like,
you messed up, buddy.
Yeah. So like, meaning what you say is huge, is so huge, but also playing the best players. Not a lot of teams do that.
No, it gets political.
Bro,
it's a business.
Not a lot of teams keep the best 53. They'll keep the best probably like 40.
Right.
Or they'll keep.
What's the other 13? What is it?
It depends. It might be draft picks.
Play, yes. All that.
Draft picks.
God.
Bro.
I talk about.
Do you know how many draft picks you see?
Sports are a business, man. It's insane.
The NFL is more political than high school football, maybe. And that's sad.
It's crazy.
Now, at most places.
Right.
There's a group that it's not. Like I think there's 5 to 8 maybe where
really?
It's maybe not.
Are some of those cultures, I know the Patriots aren't in it right now. Are any of those like kind of in it right now? Or are places evolving? Because from a perspective of like
trying to think
being in the game,
who the teams are that are in
a perspective of being in the game.
Yeah,
Patriots definitely made the blueprint of, hey, you want to win, you want to go on a dynasty, make your culture, your program, your organization, your business like so, and over time it kind of has become, I get Tom left, whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't get into that, but I'm saying like. Not saying the Patriots lost the Patriot way necessarily, but I feel like you take a team like kind of like the Buffalo Bills, and they're kind of trying to like mimic that in a sense.
I don't know much about Sean.
Yeah.
I know Brian Daboll was there.
Yeah.
And I know Brian Daboll was with Bill. I've been with Brian Daboll.
So it's like the Nick Saban effect almost.
I'm just guessing, like, they probably have their things in order.
Right.
I'm not going to go and say they do because I don't know. But the thing, and let me say this, like, owners that get into, like, making decisions and stuff, at the end of the day, they're the owner. They can do it if they want, though.
Do whatever they want.
Yeah, like, they paid for it. Like, so I do have a problem, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying you want the football people to make decisions.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm now, Jerry Jones, like, do some people think he's too involved? Sure. But at the end of the day, he was a football guy and he owns the team.
I haven't been there. I kind of would want someone involved.
I would.
Right?
Yeah. And the thing, so
you work for a company, you kind of like to know the guy you're busting your ass for as a boss. Whatever.
Like, Mr. Kraft was unbelievable. Like, he was around all the time. I mean, I can't say I had, like, any owners that I didn't like.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, he was there every day. Or, like, I mean, he might have traveled a couple times, but he was there.
It kind of sets the tone a little bit.
Yeah.
There's something in the room.
And the thing is, he's like, here, Bill, I trust you with it. You have the keys. So, like, I'm not making the decision. I mean, that's how Tom left, right? Like, is because otherwise, if it was up to Mr. Kraft, I'm guessing he probably would have been there. Not because Mr. Kraft, Tom could do no wrong. It's just like they would have probably figured it out. And that's okay. But it's just, man, the accountability is like one of the number one. Why don't we have accountability in our country? Not in our country, but I mean just like in the businesses.
As a pillar of like society almost?
Yes. Like people like in like businesses is kind of what I'm saying. Like I can't go as far as saying I know in our country like high up what's going on. But I'm saying like in like our businesses, in our like we can't get mad at people. We can't fire people off of performance anymore.
No.
Like I remember when I got out of the NFL, someone was kind of just, they were complaining about their business.
Right.
And they're like, this person's like this, doesn't do their job. Like, and I'm like, yeah, fire them. And they're like, what? You can't do that. I'm like,
that's what you're trained to do when you're at a high level of athletics.
Yeah. Like I was like, well, if they have a contract, they say they're going to do this, how do you not fire them if they aren't doing that? Because they're actually like violating their contract.
It reminds me almost of like when you're a little kid.
And I don't want people to get fired left and right.
But like it reminds me when you're a little kid and you think adults are always right. And then you kind of hit this point where you're like, that guy's wrong. That guy's full of crap or whatever. And and as soon as you start getting into the business world, it almost becomes more evident. And you're like, and I think I'll say this as an athlete, everything's physical. So you're not dreading meetings. You're not even dreading anything.
Yeah.
But you're more thinking like, I got a bum hamstring. It's going to take 3 hours to warm it up. I'm going to have to do 2 hours of recovery after. It's a long day. I'd really like to be healthy right now.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yes.
Like I really like that. So when you got to show up for a meeting, it doesn't matter how you physically feel.
Yeah.
And you got to physically perform. Because guess what? If you're not running full speed as an L2, they're going to start another guy, and you're not going to dress out that week. And then you're not going to dress out 3 weeks.
I was just going to say,
you're going to freaking get.
And then you're going to be gone.
And then guess what? Then you're not in the NFL anymore, and then you're working at freaking Foot Locker or something like that. Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong
Probably
with that.
A great store.
Great store.
I haven't been there for a while because internet is
I'm more of a cowboy boot type of guy right now.
Love
but I'm saying there's levels to it, and then you got to kind of stay. There's between the accountability and just understanding how life works. You do get a new perspective once sports end for you. Mm-hmm. And before I move on to that, I just want to say, Danny, you've played with some studs. Mm-hmm. I don't care about who the biggest freak is. Who's the biggest competitor you've ever been around?
Oh gosh, Tom's a competitor.
I mean,
but everyone knows,
answer, right?
Phillip Rivers.
Really?
Is a dog.
He's got that dog in him?
Bro, I'll tell you 2 stories. One was my first year in 13.
Okay.
Good buddy. He ended up becoming one of my best friends.
Nice.
We're playing the Broncos. Big game.
Sure.
They're at our place. Well, we run a screen, and I don't run where he thinks I need to. And he's yelling at me.
You run the screen, but not to the land.
No, I catch it, but he thinks I need to go one way or the other. Because quarterbacks, they think they know stuff. and I obviously I ended up being right on it, but he thought something differently. He starts yelling at me because he's a competitor. So what do? Do I just kind of shield it?
Yeah.
No.
Up in his ass.
I am yelling at him and telling him to do his job.
Yeah.
To play quarterback, because you've never ran a screen pass in your life.
No. Phil.
It got to the point where we ended up having to call a timeout because him and I are fighting on the field, yelling at each other. Nick Hardwick, our center, breaks us up, and he's in between us, holding us back, and we're yelling at each other, going at it. Next drive, he throws an angle route to me, and I score on it, and we don't look at each other. We don't even.
I feel like you're in the movie Step Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, it felt like it. But it's awesome
Do you
because
want to do karate?
Bro, he's one of the best human beings I've ever been around, though.
Really?
Too. We had that deal because I'm relatively competitive. Also, if the franchise quarterback's yelling at me and I'm going back at him, I'll tell Tom Brady's story too after this because he's competitive too, obviously. But he walks into the training room. He looks at me. He goes, "Sorry about that, man. You know I love you." I go, "I love you too, bro." I go, "No big deal." And it's like, we're men enough though that we can move on.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? But then there was another time in a preseason game he tried to tell me what to do that he was wrong on again. Now, if I was wrong, I get it, right?
I get it.
But I'm not gonna. But
accountability.
So another thing happened. We're on the sideline, kind of the same thing, except the play clock's not involved. Like, we're not going to get a delay of game. So we had that. Tom, I still remember to this day. I didn't realize this is now just showing that I'm unfortunately a competitor too. But he, game 3 that I'm there. I mean, I'm about to, I could get fired any second, right? Game 3. And I end up having a good game, but I throw a check down, he throws it at my feet. and he looks at me, starts just MFing me, going nuts. And we're playing the Ravens. It's national television. It's not but it's like the 3:30, or maybe it's the early morning slot. It's one of the slots, but it's like one of the. It's not
Sunday Night Football though.
No. Yeah, but it's one of the afternoon slots, but it was like the main one. You know how that is? Like CBS has. Right.
So if I just went to church and I had breakfast, I'm turning on, I'm watching Patriots.
You're watching Patriots Ravens. So I'm like, this cat's really doing this to me. He threw a bad ball. Like,
hey Tom,
bro, I didn't know you weren't supposed to do this. I didn't get the memo. But he's like looking at me, and I just look at him. I go, what am I doing? I'm in year 3. I'm some nobody from Nebraska. But this is where my competition got in the way. And I look at him, and I glare at him, and I go, mm-mm. And I walk off. I'm so lucky I had a good game that week. Otherwise, I was gone.
Oh, my God.
I ended up having over 100 yards all purpose, though. So, like, it saved me.
Hey, we're good, Tom.
Bro.
Hey, Tom, we're good, eh?
Bro, that was not probably the best decision I've made, but
it was a bad time.
Also shows like his fire. Like,
good.
Because he didn't care.
He's got the juice. Tom Brady brings the juice.
Oh, he brings the juice because I loved him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a good throw. And he still brought the juice. Now, I don't think he expected young Danny Woodhead to bring it back.
Come here, Tom.
But it definitely wasn't that, because if I would have done that, I was for sure released. But fortunately, had a good enough game. But I will say this. After that, we had a pretty good relationship. So maybe he knew that he's like, oh, he actually cares. He's not trying. Yeah. Even if I did something wrong, okay, he's not trying to do something wrong.
No.
He knows where to be.
It's different.
There's something that I respect. So like that's the thing too. Like obviously you know with Tom, you know with Phil, but like if a guy's bringing it, like I have no problem with them messing up.
No, it's a sense of respect.
Yeah,
it's a sense of respect.
Yeah, and like Philip, like he was incredibly wrong those 2 times.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that he wanted to win as much as I wanted to win.
Have to.
Because there's some guys, I mean, they're just cashing checks. Those guys aren't cashing checks. I mean, they're cashing big checks.
They are cashing checks, but
we all were cashing checks. Theirs were significantly larger. But, bro, they brought it, and I respected that.
Right.
And hopefully they respected me for it. If not, that's okay.
They respect you, Dave.
They probably did. But I'm just saying, like, that's just kind of
backpedal. They respect the crap out of you, man.
It was.
There were some moments.
There were plenty of moments. So those 2, because of those moments, and there were a couple other times, everyone else has seen them, where Tom's yelled at people on the sideline. Did I agree with him a lot of the time?
No.
I was like, hey, bro, like, it's not just us.
Yeah.
Like, we all have to play better.
Right.
But I respected him because he cared enough.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if it was, even if he was the only one playing bad?
Okay.
Let's just say he was.
Sure.
Let's pretend that really doesn't happen because it was Tom Brady. But let's pretend if he still would have came over and just laid into everyone, I'm cool with it because he shows the level of care that I want in not just my quarterback, but in my teammate.
Yeah. And he's leading the pack. He's driving the boat.
Exactly.
Before we continue, I gotta have a quick shout out to our sponsor, the American Pistachio Growers. If you want to perform like the pros, then eat your pistachios. Eat those nuts, kids. Danny, are you a pistachio guy?
I love pistachios, man.
How many pistachios do you think you eat per month? Let's go per month.
I don't know. I go in phases. So
you just get real hot real quick.
Yes,
and then
I get real hot, and then it's like, I forget about it.
Do you go shelled, unshelled?
Shelled.
I like, you know what? You got to work for it.
Yeah. I mean, I will eat I am not mad.
No.
When
if
they're
it's pre-shelled.
Yeah.
Flavored? No flavored?
Usually no flavored, but there's
like
also some like chili ones or like
chili's good.
So good. Yeah. I'm a big pistachio fan, but the problem is, so people have problems with like potato chips. I do have problems with pistachios. Just
keep going.
Are you like that ever?
You're addicted. Then you look over, and there are protein, which they're good for fueling, all that
it's
stuff.
not going to hurt you.
But if you're sitting down,
but I would like
watching Sunday Night Football, and you start with a little
the next thing you know, you have no pistachios, and it's like, I ate a lot.
Yeah, I kind of just had
but they're good.
Half a tree worth of pistachios.
Yeah, I love trees though.
You know, Danny, I mean, one thing you kind of mentioned too is just the word compete, and I brought this up. I saw you mentioned it. I was a 3-4 sport athlete in high school.
Yeah.
And I was mainly football and soccer and track.
Yep.
And I have kids now. I'm in this weird realm where like people want to know what it takes to get recruited. And I think high school sports, even like before that now, if you want to play college baseball, they think you got to start playing travel ball when you're 9 years old. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but one of the methods that I kind of said, and I think you could agree on this, and I just kind of think full circle here. Listen, if you only play high school football, how many games do you play in high school? 10 until you make the playoffs?
Yeah.
8, 10? That means in 365 days a year, there's all the 7-on-7 BS now. 365 days a year, you actually compete. Like game day, the vibes are high 10 times a year. That's not really that many when you think about it. Let's say you throw soccer in there too. What do you play? 25 soccer games a year? Now you're at 35. Let's throw 10 track meets in there. Now you're at 45.
Yeah.
And you're competing.
Yeah.
I threw baseball in there for a little bit. And I just think, what's your take on young generation focusing so too early on one sport, man? Because I think playing other sports makes you a better athlete. But I also think if you're a competitor, more opportunities to have that game day atmosphere.
Yeah.
I say iron sharpens iron. It really, you're sharpening your toolbox at that point.
Yeah.
You're freaking competing.
I'll probably offend a lot. I think it's terrible.
It's a crisis.
I do think it's terrible.
Your team play as many sports as possible.
As many sports.
I played volleyball.
I played 4. So I played 4 sports. Track in one spring, soccer the other 3 springs in high school.
Sure.
So what we're doing, this is my belief system. Now, we can all be wrong, but this is my belief system.
Hey, it's the Bring the Juice podcast. You see what you want. You're right.
No. Can I say this? I could be wrong.
Sure.
Am I? No. I'm not wrong.
But I'm right.
Yes. The thing is, what happens when you have these kids playing, let's just say they're focusing on basketball.
Sure.
And you talk about all these game day situations, whatever. Well, some of them play basketball and they play a lot of games though too.
Yeah,
they play like 80 games.
Right.
So what happens? They're desensitized to losing. Like,
oh, I lost this tournament. We got swept 0-4.
yeah, we're going to be playing next week.
Sucked, man.
Or we have another game on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Right.
Like, you have another game? Like, you should be you should be angry. Like, and now I'm not all for like you're mad, crying.
No. There's a difference
that's
between being pissed off because you lost and being a little crybaby.
Yeah, like if I was a crybaby, my dad wouldn't have let me play sports. He's a coach. He's a teacher and a coach. He coached me in football. He would not have let me play.
Call that the backhand in California.
So like, but the thing is, you desensitize kids to winning and losing. So like, competition doesn't matter anymore. You're just playing. Oh yeah, we got another. Oh, we have 3 AAU tomorrow. We went 2-1. Yeah, so like, are you mad about the loss? No, we got another game tomorrow. And it's like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? So like, they have no competitive bones in their body.
Right.
And then the thing is, what happens freshman, sophomore year of high school? They don't like the sport.
They're not on varsity and they're not getting hyped up, and one of their buddies who's in freaking biology is, and it's like, I'm not that good.
Like there's few guys that are getting scholarships in 6th grade.
I know one that got a scholarship in 8th grade, and he scored 2 touchdowns for Georgia in the national championship.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
There's like
the one guy.
There's like none.
Shout out
and guess what? He was going to get that scholarship regardless. Because if you're that
There's
good,
a few freak specimens in a generation per a class.
Yes.
That's where it goes down.
Exactly. There's not a lot of LeBron Jameses running around.
I don't know. We haven't seen another LeBron James yet. There's some athletic dudes.
But you're not going to see it.
No.
And that's okay.
I think you're more likely to see another Derrick Henry over another LeBron James.
I agree. I agree. And the thing is, like, so you have all these, and a lot of the times, not all the time, some of it's the parents are like, yeah, we just need to get him in this, like,
yeah.
Did you never play a sport in your life?
And some haven't. And some just like they're new to it and they like it and their friends.
And it's like, oh yeah. And then it's like, oh yeah, my son scored 20 points in that game. It's like, I don't care.
Instagram it real quick.
Yeah, like, that's really neat and cute and adorable, right? But like, I don't want to hear that. And this is what I tell my my wife all the time, because my kids are slower in sports than what most of the kids are nowadays. Like I'm saying, like we're pushing them in, not pushing them in, but like allowing them slower, like only letting because I don't want them to hate it.
And also you get burnt out.
You do. I don't want it. But
when did you start playing football?
I started playing 4th grade. I played 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Didn't play 7th, 8th grade. I
didn't start till 8th grade. My dad said he'll get burnt out.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest though. My brother got to play in 7th, and my youngest got to play in like fucking 2nd.
Yeah, but I'm saying like still it wasn't probably a ridiculous amount.
No, and like I played flag and I did all this other crap.
Bro, it's
doing cross country. I did everything.
That's whatever. But what I always tell my wife, and I've told this to people, I've said it on podcasts. Like so they're like, well, my kid loves it though. When are we gonna start protecting our kids from our kids?
Fair enough.
Like I don't. Yeah. Like my kids would love to have 34 Reese's Pieces a day.
Guess what?
It's not good for you.
No.
Like
eat some broccoli, Junior.
Oh, guess what? You want to play on all these teams, play all these sports. Oh, cool. I love it that you want to. You're not going to.
No.
Because Dad said no. Why? Because Dad wants you to play with Play-Doh too. And Dad wants you to go outside and play hide and seek I want you to play hide and seek. I want you to play pickup football. The Play-Doh, obviously, a 5-year-old. I have a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But I'm
Thank
saying,
you for
like,
clarifying that, by the way.
Or like, there's new Play-Doh stuff. It's kinetic sand. Anyways, but go ahead and really, really cool stuff.
Do you like it a little bit?
It's a little bit.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
It's a little better. But like, when are we gonna start protecting our kids from our kids?
Yeah.
Like, then we have all these kids that next thing you know, they're only doing it because they want NIL money. They're only doing it because it's their
I can't
job.
even get to that crap right
Like,
now, man. That shit
but like, I'm saying, like, you have all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not what, like, 12-year-olds should be thinking about.
No, man. Go and like even like high school football. Like, granted, I told you, like my brothers are in it. They've gone through the recruitment game. They've gone through all that. When you play football, the last thing you should be thinking about is, I hope I get enough yards. I hope I get enough touchdowns. You should be tunnel vision. We gotta win a football game.
Bro,
that's it.
Yeah, if I'm a head coach, who am I getting unless they're just a dog on a like a crap team? I'm getting kids that know how to win.
You want winners.
Yeah, I don't need stat guys.
Winners find a way. And
Yes.
like that's like, I mean, I think Christopher Columbus said that, and like
Him, George Washington,
said
Thomas
that.
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson said that.
Abe Lincoln, I know he said that.
I know some Viking guy said that. Like, it's scripted.
It's been around.
Scripted. It might be in the Bible. I don't know. But
It's been around.
It's around.
It's been
and
around.
like, like, I don't know, Danny. Like, like we're talking about competing, and I think just that energy, when you play at a high level, you dedicate your life into it. It becomes your identity. You've done such a good job of. I know I introduced you as a professional golfer, but you happen to have this really decorative football career as well. What is your, one of the hardest things that I talk about on this pod is just like life after sports, man.
Yeah.
A lot of players react. Some guys come and they take off. Mm-hmm. They take that same principles that it took to make that 53-man roster, to score touchdowns, to do this, to have the Patriot way, whatever the hell you want to call it, and they started businesses and they're on the moon. Mm-hmm. But other guys, not so much.
Right.
What is your, what do you think is the approach to take? And I kind of want to segment into that. I finished playing sports and I bought a set of golf clubs from Dick's Sporting Goods the same day. And me, my dad, and my two brothers, so 4 of us, we're a foursome.
Yeah.
We started playing golf.
Yeah.
We only play scrambles.
Yeah.
And it's freaking fun. And we didn't golf. I never golfed in my life. And it's like coming out of it. Again, I started a freaking podcast, but like then it's like, dude, it's something to compete in. And it's like, I'm not competing. If we were to go out right now and play a freaking 18, I wouldn't say, all right, Danny, let's go $20 a hole.
Right, that probably wouldn't be
someone's got a
wise if you haven't played a lot.
Stupid, right?
Yeah.
But you and me could go, and you could bring 2 buddies and be like, hey, we're going to scramble. We got to play 3 of his drives every front 9. There's things to make it fun for all levels. And if I go and I hit a shank into the freaking house to the right of the golf course, you're not going to say, oh, this guy sucks, I can't play. You're going to be like, come on, man, let's hit a straight one here. And when I hit a piss missile up the middle, like I like to do, you're going to go, damn, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
And I think it's an opportunity to keep that competitive flair alive.
Yeah.
And like, that's on the recreational side.
Yeah.
From the business side, though, to the original question, that transition of life after sports, what makes it so hard, and what was your mindset when you finished playing football?
Yeah, I think the most difficult thing, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think a lot of guys struggle with, they've been doing this sport for so long.
It's your identity.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
Yeah. And
get better for football. Get better for football.
And it becomes, but it's like, unfortunately, that's kind of like who a lot of people are. For me, my faith was number one, and my parents always said, like, this can't be who you are. It's what you do. You love it, but like...
Easier said than done.
Yes, very, much easier, but because of how my parents raised me, I knew that like that was never going to be my life, who Danny Woodhead was. I didn't want to be known as Danny Woodhead, the football player. Like, if someone says he was good at football, cool, right?
Sick.
Yeah, but like I didn't want, like, if I was wrapped up in that, there's a lot of people come crashing down, because then with football you have fame, you get
little bit of coin,
you
little
get
bit of
paid
coin.
handsomely. But you have the fame, you have that, then just the small things where you're noticed, people, I don't think like people crave that. What happens when you retire? You're completely forgotten.
You're dead.
You're dead. You're dead.
You're dead. That's what I'm saying.
You're dead, actually.
It's crazy.
And the thing is, because of it, like, my identity was...
Did you know that when you were going to finish, though? Did you know there was going to be that drop-off? Because you finished with the Ravens. Did you know, like, hey, I'm getting pampered in the NFL at a certain level?
Yeah, but I went to D2, though, bro. So, like, we got nothing.
It's not even a chip. It's just like a layer of skin almost.
So then I was used to not being big stuff. I mean, people knew of me, but like we had nothing at Shattern State. But anyways, like I knew going in that was not who I was, and I even had a difficult time with it.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 to 6 months were some of the toughest times of my life, of our marriage, like depression. Not quite depression, because I don't want to make it.
No, you're not depressed, but you're empty. There's a fucking giant ass void.
It's just like you're used to doing getting ready for a season. It's like I don't have a season to get ready for.
The routine is
so it's more so the routine. Like
it's mental. It's not even physical necessarily.
Yeah, like my identity, my identity's always been in my faith in Christ.
Right.
That was my identity, but it was something that I did a lot of. Yeah. And I mean, that was my job.
Yes.
So like a lot of people experience it, even if they this sounds crazy, but not crazy, but like if you're a banker for 40 years, when you're done, you're gonna be like, I'm not going to the office.
It's culture shock.
Yes, it's like, what do I do? And my wife and I, she had 10 years of running the house without me home.
Get it.
It was weird. I come home and she's like, she told me, she goes, I thought you were gonna be my little helper. And I go, like, you're talking to me like I'm an elf.
Yeah.
Like I'm not an elf.
Yeah.
Like
my name's not Buddy.
No, could I make toys? Probably. I'm little enough. My ears aren't pointy enough.
I like to weld.
Yes, but like
I'm good with wood,
bro. Like I couldn't. I struggled with that, and her and I, we had some incredible conversations. We had people before that kind of told us how it was going to go.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, which helped, but like she said, it came to the point. She said,
"You gotta get out of the house."
Yeah. She said, "You need to start." She said, "You need to start playing golf during the week." And I looked at her, I was like,
"Are you the coolest wife ever?"
No. It was. Is this a trap game? You know the trap games?
Absolutely.
You're playing like a trash. Yes.
Yeah.
But you have a big game the next week.
Yeah.
It's like, is this a?
Yeah.
Is this a trap game?
Am I messing up here?
Yeah. Like what am I doing?
What do you know that I don't?
Yeah. And she said, no, like you need to leave. Like during the morning, just like to...
Little routine.
Yes, just a routine. It was the best thing that ever happened to our marriage.
Wow.
And I knew I wanted to play golf, and I knew I wanted to compete. I knew I wanted to do all this stuff.
Right.
But like, I didn't know to the extent. I knew I wanted to get as good as I could, and then...
Because you're a competitor.
Yes, bro. Everything that I do in the winter leads to my tournament season and golf. So like, everything that I did in football, I take that and just put it into golf. So like, so many guys...
You got the mindset. You got...
Bro, so many guys are so used to everything, and then they don't have it anywhere to put it. It's like...
toughest... It's why I started Bring the Juice.
Yes.
It's impossible.
So people don't get it.
And it's at a different level, too.
Yes.
And say clout's not part of it. Listen, man, when you're part of the freaking league... I'm even going to go down and say, if you're part of the NCAA...
Yeah.
You have a certain mindset. And that's in football. I know lacrosse dudes who, like... They still apply these principles where it's like, dude, you're, I don't say you're a robot, but like, it's muscle memory. It's your life.
Yes, and it's just, you're in this routine. So I had to figure out a new routine. I really did. And now we have a routine. It's just kind of known that like, I'm gone from, I don't know, anywhere 8 or 9 till like 2 or 3. And it's like, it's still not like a long...
It's pretty good hours, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, she sees it as like, I'm not working as much as all our friends, because she doesn't have, we don't have any friends here that are, the husband's retired.
Right.
So like, it's, like that was different too, but like, man, it was difficult, but I think the biggest thing is, for me, number one, my faith. Then number 2, 3, you have to have purpose/passion. You have to have something. If
Be hungry, man.
Yeah, if you don't have anything, you're just gonna sit around.
Hungry dog runs faster every time.
Yeah, and it's like, what is something that you're passionate about getting better at, or what's a purpose of like something you can do in this world that's going to make people better, or
I could not
treat
agree
people
more.
well. Like
I could not agree more.
Like what are we going to do if you don't have that? It's going to be hard.
I could not agree more. I mean, I'm inspired. I know you've gone on Barstool a few times. Like,
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Cat and PMT, man.
They're
like,
awesome.
PFT, like they're awesome. Shout out to Will Compton. I mean, Blessed with the Boys is one of my inspirations to start bringing the juice, and it's like I kind of, between listening to these guys, I just like to hear them talk about the game. It gets me fired up. It makes me feel like I'm still in it.
Yeah.
And then I want to just throw my own flair on it, being like, dude, I want the 12-year-old kid listening to this to be like, you know what? I need to stay hungry. I want to stay working hard. Or I want the 48-year-old man who doesn't like his job that much anymore to be the best version of himself he could possibly be because of a 2-minute snippet from this episode with you.
Right. It's so true.
Like you want to, I'm not just producing some BS for the people to hear, hoping, hey, I have a couple NFL guys, a couple world champs on, look at Bring the Juice. I really want people, whatever their status, clout, background, accomplishments, achievements, whatever it is, to be like, dude, that was some really good stuff today, man. Like I appreciate you. I'm gonna apply some of that and be a better person because of it. And like, I don't want to say that's not my purpose per se, because I still gotta farm the onions.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing something wrong. I know I'm in the right direction.
Well, the thing is, it's something you're passionate about. Is this a fun slogan? Bring the juice? Yeah, because it sounds cool.
It's sick.
And the logo's cool. But it's something you believe in. And if everyone, and I'm not saying I mean I'm the greatest of all time, but like if everyone literally in whatever they do, like brought the juice, if you brought the juice, that you can apply this in your marriage, you'd have a better marriage. If you brought the juice in being a dad, you'd be a pretty sick dad. Like if you had all these different things that you bring the juice in, all it is it's really just saying like, I'm gonna give my all in that.
I'm going all in.
Exactly. Like I'm going all out.
Right.
In getting shredded right now. Like that's
Let's go.
Like for some reason I'm in that mode. So like today we're working out. We grinded for an hour. My business partner and I were working out. It was a tough day. It was a tough day. And then what do? We go in the 175 degree sauna and put in 20 minutes. And
did you get a tan out of that?
I felt like it, and I look like it, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like at 8 minutes, hurting.
Really?
Because it was so hot, and it was hot, it just felt hotter, and probably because of I had a grind of a workout, of an hour workout, and then I get in the sauna. I'm at 8 minutes, and I'm like, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
My business partner leaves at 11 minutes or whatever. I go,
I'm gonna go 12.
No, I'm still going 20.
Good.
And he comes back in after a 30-second break or whatever, then gets out at 16. I go, no, we can do this.
Yeah.
And he ends up not, and I hope he listens to this now. But I go, no, I will do 20.
Yeah.
And he's like,
You have a choice.
And afterwards he goes, I just was lightheaded. I was going to pass out. I go, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There were a couple times I thought I was going to fall down. But all I had to do was, it was like one of those things. I was like, no, I'm going to actually just like figure out my breathing, distract myself, whatever.
Stare at a piece of wood or something.
Yes, no, that's the stuff I do. And then, or then I'll be like, to get this next minute, I'll count to 60, but I'll go 1.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And once I get to 60, I know in my head it's actually
it's
more
like,
than a minute. It's like a minute and a half.
78 or something.
Yeah. And it's like, bro, like, this sounds stupid.
No, it doesn't.
But like, I was trying to bring the juice in the sauna. That sounds so dumb, but like me, in everything that I do, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna do something,
you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Otherwise, why would I say I'm gonna do it? Am I really that trustworthy if I say I'm gonna do it and then I don't?
Can't bullshit a bullshitter. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I love, it fires me up because it's One, it's
I might be
true.
sweating. I'm
It's a
so excited
it's
about it.
It's a mindset to freaking have, though, man. Got the other one on?
Oh, I do.
I mean,
actually.
thank God. I mean,
know.
and you know, like, I was going to wait for a little bit. Like, you talk about, I've seen some of your captions. You have this thing called cerebral grit. Define it. What is it? Does it have relevance to a mustache, too?
Well, so I had
almost shaved it
I had a
off.
Fu Man with a headband on when I took the picture. So cerebral grit, yes, it has something to do with a mustache too, because like
If I had a razor, I'd go stash right now.
no, but like you can do it. You have a mustache
You
at
can
least.
too.
Yes, and I did the other day, but I just haven't
let it
trimmed
go.
up. Sometimes it's just like I get lazy. So it was just a little bit of a play on words, and I hate to say that I hate this word, but like I agree with it. But like mental toughness is something that's so. A lot of people like to talk about it, but they don't really like.
They don't be about it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, well, no. Mental toughness is like, to me, it was getting through that 20-minute sauna when I had
what it
12
is.
minutes I couldn't function.
You have a choice.
Yeah, like, it was my choice to either suck it up and maybe I'm gonna faint. I mean, there were people in there that knew how to revive me if I passed out. So like, I was gonna be okay.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was gonna be fine. But like, it's really just a play on words: mental, cerebral, grit, toughness. So like, it was my way of
Dude, you need to throw that on a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, well, I do have one. I need to start selling them probably. Maybe I'll just sell it through Bring the Juice.
Dude, let's go.
Yeah, I would probably have to. But it's literally my way of saying mental toughness, except I don't like people saying mental toughness.
I get it.
Because it's just everyone uses it,
Yeah.
right? Like everyone uses mental toughness. So I'm
Yes.
using cerebral grit.
I'm gonna
It's
start
different,
using
and
I'm on it.
if you are mentally tough, if you really are mentally tough, you'll also sport a mustache or a Fu Man. You will.
I have some great mustache pictures.
Oh, I bet you do.
Some great
bro,
mustache
I can see
pictures.
it now.
I mean, I'm talking.
Yes.
If we had a butter knife in this freaking. Wait, we didn't even talk about. We're at some freaking Airbnb in Omaha, Nebraska right now. Bring the Juice is on the road,
Yes.
and we had to move around the house a little bit. There was no outlets,
But it
in the
works
kitchen.
great.
It looks great. It looks freaking. It's bitchin' to say the least.
It's
And
pretty unreal.
If there was a butter knife in this house that wouldn't give me some sort of a medical disease, I would 100% shave
Just-
my face right now just for the stash.
Yeah.
Just because you're here right now, Danny.
Bro,
That's the type of grit I got.
But
That's
think
the type of
about
cerebral
it.
grit I got.
When you get home, just shave it. Coin
send it to
cerebral
you.
grit.
Send it to you.
Yeah, and
go.
then coin it on.
Done.
Bro, so
Done.
that's the whole thing. Is like, it's my way of saying a word that I don't like, just because I think it's overused.
me up.
And it's mental toughness. I feel like is just overused by people that don't
is.
have mental toughness.
It is. When I make my post for Bring the Juice, I do a bunch of hashtags. And, it's Bring the Juice, it's grit, it's fire me up, it's high energy, it's elite mindset, it's athlete mindset, it's depending on the person on.
Yeah.
Last week I had a guy who plays for the Washington Commanders on. He's an O-line.
Yep.
Because you know what? Social media, it does game on
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
And I put mental toughness. I'm not putting mental toughness.
Don't
Bring in
anymore.
Cerebral grit.
And it's nothing against you. It's just me.
It's better.
It's me thinking of the people that I've heard say mental toughness, and not all of them have it.
I could not agree more.
So that's kind of where it's like, this is pretty alone right now.
Pretty
Cerebral grit, like I'm saying, like, and I mean, maybe people think I have mental toughness. Maybe they don't. I don't care. So like, I coined it because PFT and Big Cat, they always like, I was like the grittiest players, what they would say. You know?
Good.
Yes. So like,
honestly, and
it's
I gotta
like
say,
grit,
that's one of the best
cerebral.
compliments you could get.
Bro, so if outside of my teammates, so if I look back, Kenny Wiggins, for example,
Shout out to Kenny Wiggins.
love him. I would give him a hug.
I have a huge question for you after
Great,
Kenny Wiggins.
great hips. But anyways,
He asked who's your favorite white O-line that's been cut 15 times.
easily
Yeah.
Kenny Wiggins.
Yeah.
It's not even close. But I'd put him up there.
Landslide.
I would put him up there with not all the stipulations too.
Good.
He was just amazing dude. But what were we talking about? Gosh dang.
Cerebral grit. Jake, you got anything?
What was it that I was talking about?
Shit, man.
I was on a
Oh, outside of, I was talking about how Cerebral Grit, being complimented by Big Cat and PFT.
Oh, yeah.
As gritty is one of the best compliments you get. And I said, that's a great compliment.
So Danny Woodhead, almost 38 years old. If someone says, hey, what did your teammates think about you? Or if they interviewed one of my teammates.
Sure.
Like what would I want them to say about me? Not even one adjective. First, number one is that like I was a good dude.
Yeah.
Like that's the number
Quality
one
person.
Yes.
Right.
Like that's my number one. I don't care. I hope they thought I was a good football player, but
right.
If I sucked,
When it's all said and done, nobody cares.
No one cares.
They don't care how many touchdowns you score. Nobody gives a
But like the next thing would be like that, and this is where I think grit, cerebral grit comes into play. Is that, man, like I was like one of the best teammates.
Good.
Because if you're one of the best teammates, that means you're trustworthy, you're reliable, you're accountable. They know without a shadow of a doubt you're going to do everything you can to make the team win. I want to be known as a great teammate, and if I got that done,
that's an umbrella for a lot of good things. That's like the cool thing.
Yeah. So like if I was a great teammate, then that's a good thing.
Danny, before we have a request from Kenny Wiggins, I got to read one ad from our trusted sponsors. When you come to Fresno, you're going to love it. But Fresno First Bank is local to Fresno and the community. They have a strong connection with the business owners to help them grow and succeed. And at Fresno First, they're never too busy for you. It's always direct contact when you walk in. They personalize the customer experience every single day. They got the juice. They got the cerebral grit. They fire me up. Danny, when you come to Fresno and if you ever like, hey, I want to start a business there, they're the place I would set you up for making. So shout out to Fresno First Bank.
I love that.
And you know what? Kenny Wiggins, I called him this week because like I said, I have a golf tournament coming up. We'll get into that.
Yep.
He said, ask Danny Woodhead about his Christmas cards. Can you give me a
honestly, I wish I had them with me.
Send me them and we'll pop them up.
Yeah.
Jake, we can do that, right?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
I'll just say we
pros here.
Yeah,
it's like ESPN, but better.
but better. Way better and way not better. Super woke. Okay.
Yeah. White boys make noise.
Yeah. But anyways, each year since my wife and I have been married, so that's when you do Christmas cards, and we were gone. So like we were.
How long has that been?
We've been married. It'll be 15 years in July.
You got to go somewhere nice for that.
I know. We'll do something great.
Yeah.
But anyways, the first year I was like, we got to send out a Chris. Like we're 1,000 miles away. We're with the jet. So like everyone back home wants to know what's going on with our lives.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's like do something kind of funny. So I, in my boxer briefs, am kneeling on the ground and fat as all can be because I had ACL surgery. So I was just loading on weight. And my wife, I wanted her to dress up in like a really like nice formal dress. So in front of the tree, that's how it started. Next thing you know,
did you just do that just for like shits and gigs? Like
I was like, well, and I just like I think it's funny.
I want to be on someone's fridge,
and I think people would enjoy it. So
nobody wants the little freaking normal picture.
Yeah, like
little Johnny right there
in the snow.
Yeah, like barefoot on the beach. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, that's not me, man.
Right.
So we did that. Next thing you know, it gets stressful because we've had 14 years of. No, I think 1 year we skipped.
So now you got to come up with
years.
stuff.
It stresses us out because we also are nails when it comes to Halloween. So
I saw you on the gram with the walker. It reminded me of the other guys for some reason.
It was not amazing though.
It was great.
So like
it inspired me.
So like we love just to have fun. Like
good.
We love to have fun. So like our Christmas cards are always something different. What I'm trying to get to where
people look forward to it now.
People's kids look forward to it now.
Good.
And
that's
the
cerebral gritty.
The last, I don't know how many, it's just like known that I have to be in like a leotard. I had a skin leotard. Was it unreal?
Yes.
Was it the best Christmas card ever?
Was there some like butt cheeks out at one point?
It looks like it, but no. It looks like it, but no. So regardless, this year we were the Nutcracker. We did the Nutcracker, like the ballet.
Yeah.
I was one of the, I don't even know, my wife comes up with it every year now.
Creativity. Huge asset.
She's unreal. So the nude leotard, it came about because one year I was a reindeer.
Oh.
And I was Rudolph, and I had
the little nose.
And then just
all of it.
And then just a nude leotard. And it got to the point that I was like,
hey,
I'm doing something every year. One year, well, I guess maybe that year we weren't. And we were wearing, my wife and I wore Depends and made our kids all wear diapers. my oldest, she was like, I'm not doing that. We said, we'll give you candy. She goes, okay.
How old was she at the time?
Like 10. 5. No, 5. She was 5, but she was like, that was the time. Now she'd do it regardless.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yes, but at 5 or 6 or something, she was like, no.
Dude, I need to get on this list. That's fucking awesome.
Yes. So like I had that. We were in the. I love white trash, but like it was the white trashiest thing I've ever done in my life, and I had a fake. No, I think I even had. I don't know, it was a fake heater or whatever, but I acted like I was smoking a cigarette. I was holding like a Chucky doll, and my kids were on we were in like the backyard. It didn't look great. Had a little kid slide, like we were all just looking like this. One year is a creepy, this was before the leotard or maybe after. I was laying in an old flannel, kind of like the carpet blazer, and that color and nothing on underneath. And I'm laying on the ground. This is when I had a ponytail, but I just slicked it all back, had some glasses on, and was holding, I think, the Chucky doll and a stuffed animal cat. I hate cats, so like I just thought it'd be funny. So like it's anything and everything.
It's extreme.
Yes. So yeah, you do need to get on the list.
That's crazy. I gotta get on that list.
Yeah, you'll get on the list.
Danny, what is it like? All right, so I wanted to ask this because me and my brothers were fighting about this now. I told you how we were crappy golfers last year.
Yeah.
We've improved.
Love that.
Getting a little good, man.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I know right here we're in Omaha. It's snow on the ground outside.
I know.
I'm playing 18 a week at least.
Oh yeah, because it's warm in
California, baby.
Yeah.
Got a little rain lately, a little wet. We could deal with the elements.
Yeah.
What is the equivalent? Let's air this out. What's the equivalent of scoring a touchdown in golf?
Oh gosh. I mean,
because
depending on, some people don't score a lot of touchdowns. I didn't score a ton in the NFL.
No.
But
let's not even say the league. Okay, let's say you were a competitive high school football player and you just took up golf.
It's like
there's a sensation when you score a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just like birdieing. Like
it's just bird. No, I'm talking shot.
Oh,
is
shot.
Is it a 20-foot putt?
Bro,
is it a 60 from 60 out?
It's hitting. It's hitting. I would say it's hitting your approach shot to within tap in where you don't even have to worry about it, because it gives you that feeling. You're like, feel good. It's
a par 3.
Yeah. So you hit it tight.
You're on the green. You're tight.
Yeah. You don't even.
And you just roll up and you're like,
you can putt it with one hand.
Yeah. You're like, do you need to see this?
Yeah.
One of those?
Yeah. Or like you don't even need to see it.
So at this point now, because I originally I want to bring out the Big Daddy Dangler.
Yeah.
I want to hit a freaking nuke.
Bring that banger stick out.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let me take a little sip of my Coors Light real quick.
Yeah.
A latte. And let's go. Everyone's, getting warmed up and all that. And like I said, 2 of my brothers are in the college football realm.
Yeah.
My dad is plenty macho.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to be the weak link here. Are you
For sure.
I have a little bench press in my garage. I'm making sure I can still throw shit.
Yeah.
Because I can't become, the older brother who isn't strong anymore.
You have to.
It's dominant. It's alpha at this point.
Yeah.
And so, my brother, who's a senior of Division I college football, thinks he hits the biggest piss missiles. And I'm just like, dude, step back, bro. Let me go ahead and hit my own nuke real quick.
Yep.
And originally, and don't get me wrong, when you stroke one, it feels good.
Yeah.
But now it's like, that's sick. That's great.
Yeah.
But it's almost more like, dude, I just hit my freaking 3-wood 227 6 feet out.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's badass.
Yes.
Or even more, it's like,
unreal.
hey, little pond right here. we're 62 yards out to the pin. I'm gonna do a nice little alley-oop flop of a freaking 60. I'm feeling good when that happens.
See, that's better to me. Because it helps you score.
Yes,
whereas
also,
the drives anymore.
The drive's sick, and also we've learned this the hard way. All right, if we're playing a scramble, one of us is gonna hit a bomb.
Yeah.
But like, if you could, we're getting close to the pin on one of these freaking flops. You're feeling freaking. You're saying nails. You're feeling nails, man.
Or like this is the other thing is when you're like in a spot that's literal jail around the green and it looks like it's impossible, like it's gonna be way downhill, and it's like the pin is cut tight. You're just like,
dude,
and you somehow pull it off, and you're like,
it's a different type of adrenaline, though.
Oh yeah,
because football, it's noise. It's you're like slobbering and shit. This is like, and you're just.
There's nothing, bro.
It's not the same sensation. It's not. But there's some satisfaction in there.
I will say this. So I played in the U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah, talk to me. What's your goal in golf?
I don't.
There's no bulletin goal.
I don't, and I don't really share certain ones.
Wow.
I don't.
What's the lowest you've gone?
6 or 7, I think, under. 6, maybe. Yeah, so like.
Humble brag.
It's something. I think it's 6. I don't think it was 7. Depending on. Either way, it's, man, I just like, I want to compete at a high level.
Yeah.
And I was able to get to the qualifier this year. I would love to get another opportunity because now I know what it feels like. And then it's just like, it'll be different, but I will say this. I played in a Super Bowl, and I've played in a qualifier where I'm playing against PGA Tour guys. I don't know, and this is a hot take, I don't know which one I'm more proud of.
Wow.
Because you're alone in golf, and golf is not my, thing.
Dude, you just, we're talking about life after sports, and you turn it into freaking, yo.
Decent at golf. And, bro, it's something, I don't know. It's one of those things.
You could also
I was like, yeah. And it was like one of those things, I was like, I remember one time, I think I was at church, and it was leading up to the qualifier, and I was like, I had a conversation with God. I was like, God, man, I thought it was cool when you allowed me to play football, but now I'm still getting to compete at a very high level. This is bizarre. And I was super humbled at it though, that I was allowed to be given. Now, we all have to, whatever we do with our gifts,
yep.
We have to work hard, right? That's the whole thing is bringing the juice, working as hard as you can. But I was in awe that I was given the talent to be able to do 2 things like that. I was like, what life am I living?
Dude,
bro, crazy. I literally told my wife that. I was like, what life am I living?
Who am I?
No, I just don't get it. Why was I allowed to be the one that gets to carry this?
Yeah.
You know? It's sick, and no matter what happens in golf or any sport or anything I do in business, I'm going to go at it as hard as I can. But man, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the opportunities. I'm so thankful that I played 10 years in the NFL. That's
sick, bro.
That's pretty neat.
One in how many?
Yeah.
A shit ton.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's that was sick. And then now I'm doing this thing as a hobby. Not hobby. It's barely a hobby anymore. Yeah. But I'm saying
you got a new journey.
It's something else that I never thought I'd have another opportunity to do athletics. And not saying I'm gonna play pro. I'm just saying
it's crazy.
I've been allowed to be gifted enough with my speed, with my quickness, with my hand-eye coordination, with my feel, with my whatever it is, my competitive desire, whatever it may be. But it's pretty cool.
It's sick. You're lowballing the crap out of that now, Danny. It's sick.
Bro,
you get to like do what dudes want opportunity to compete after freaking having a career like that, and you're like, oh, I'm pretty good.
Many tour guys that are pro golfers want to play in that qualifier.
Dude,
and
it's crazy.
I was able to play in it. So it was just like, wow. Like,
Right.
it was in teeing off. I don't think I've ever been that nervous in my life. Because
Really?
people are watching. The putting green's there. All these pros are watching. Everyone knows who I am.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but I mean, people know.
Right. You're there. You're there.
So it's
Don't
like.
lowball it. You're there.
So like, it was a little nerve-wracking. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Right.
And I was nervous, and I hit it like 320 down the middle.
First shot. First drive.
And I was like, okay, we're good.
Hey, we're good, boys.
Yeah, all right.
We're here to
So
stay.
let's go. So
And
like,
who wants to golf?
so like it's cool. I'm gonna do everything I can to continue to get better at it, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Dude, that's freaking sick. Before we finish up, I got a quick shout out to Dervos Deli. Danny, when you come to Fresno, there's a premier deli called Dervos Deli. Are you a chicken sandwich guy?
Love
Are
it.
You
Best chicken sandwich.
sandwiches through the roof. I love Chick-fil-A. I like Popeyes.
Yeah.
I like Cane's. I'm a chicken guy.
I love
Huge
Chick-fil-A.
chicken guy. And their chicken sandwiches,
The best.
it's top tier. You know what? The bread, it's just made with a certain amount of love. They have an aioli. The chicken, it's cooked to perfection. I don't even know what the sauce is, but the lettuce. I'm not a huge lettuce on my burger type of guy, but it's it's cut perfectly to where like it hits the perfect amount. And the pickles, I am a pickle guy. I'm not like
Connoisseur.
not like a weird pickle guy, but like I enjoy pickles on my chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
They got these crisp cut fries that are through the roof. Check out Dervos Deli when you come to Fresno. I can't wait for you to come.
Well, I'm gonna come maybe I should come for a game though too.
Dude, you could do both.
The golf tournament and the game.
Dude, so here's the thing. Bring the Juice Golf Tournament February 24th, okay? It's at Dragonfly. That's Bryson DeChambeau's course.
Yeah.
I have multiple other
I'm
courses
gonna
you
look
can
it up
play.
after I.
It's the longest course in
Leave.
California. You could play waybacks, you can do it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You got nice cart girls. It's great. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Kenny's having a baby a little bit before, but Kenny's participating.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other boys are from around the league, some athletes
Awesome.
around there. You got a place to stay.
Is it your?
Dude, it's the Bring the Juice Golf Tournament.
Oh, sick.
It's the Bring the Juice Golf Tournament. It comes
awesome.
with a Travis Matthew golf polo, nice little juice
Love
box
that.
on the side. I got hats. Dervos Deli is supplying the freaking food. And the night before is a dinner with all the athletes at my parents' house, out in the country, the boonies.
I love that. If it's in the boonies, I love it.
There is going to be some good food, a couple adult beverages, maybe some cigars. But the atmosphere is going to be electric. And then there's golf the next day, and I got golf
Awesome.
throughout the weekend. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
But, before I wrap it up, Danny, this has been absolutely electric. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Anything you want to say before we get out?
No, not really. It's funny. Like I guess the thing is, it's one of those things. If we're going to talk about like, you have something to say or something that's important to you, I think it's just, you say bringing the juice. It's just being the best you can be. You know what I mean?
Best version of yourself
Like-
you could possibly be.
Like, I don't have to be the best. I don't have to look like the guy supermodel on one of the magazines. Like I'm just trying. Like I'm living my best that I can do. My talents are different than everyone else's. In business, my talents are different than my business partners. In sports, my talents are different than everyone else's. Like I'm literally just trying to get the most out of every day. This is the one thing that I will say. What a time to be alive in 2023.
What a
bro.
time to be alive.
Like
Opportunity.
everyone like is so down about it, about like how the last 2-3 years have been with sickness. Man, at the end of the day, my creator allowed me to be alive during this time. Just like every single one of us, it's not by mistake.
No.
It's not by mistake. We get to be alive in 2023.
You don't got to, you get to.
Yes.
I agree.
And that's the one thing that I hope would encourage people is like, hey, we get to live in 2023. What a better time to be alive.
Attack it.
Yes.
You're either the hammer or the nail.
Yeah.
Don't be the nail.
We won't be.
Don't be the nail.
We won't be.
Fire me up. Get your piss hot. Everybody, appreciate you reaching out to bring the juice. Be sure to follow us on the gram. Follow Danny on the gram. We're going to make sure we collab on a bunch of crap. It's going to be freaking electric. I'm fired up. Danny's fired up. The piss is hot. The energy's high. Be sure to bring the juice this week. We'll see you next week.